Today we're going to talk about understanding yield response and ROI with chain roll. So chain rolls are our stock rolls that we can put on different corn heads. If we look at traditional stock rolls out there, most of the time they're going to leave stalks that are very long. Or if you look at a chopping head out there, you're going to have stalks that are very tiny. We actually like to call that confetti. So with those small pieces, the problems with that is they can blow away in the wind. You can see that on these windy days. They end up in tree lines, line fences, everywhere where you don't want them. The other problem with those small pieces is that when you come in the next season to plant, your row cleaners can't get those little pieces and move them out of the way. So then when the seed is trying to come up, it could hit one of those pieces, and then we don't have a plant in that spot. One of the main objections that we get with chain roll is, I already put on new rolls on my combine this year, so I'm going to have to wait until those are worn out. Our team has come up with an ROI calculator for chain roll. This is a great tool that can help with any objections that you have. Again, like the main one that we just talked about. So let's go to the ROI calculator so we can see if chain roll is a fit for your farm. So if we go to 360roicalculators.com, we can see that we have chain roll as one of our options. So let's choose that. When we come in here, you can see that we have 360 chain roll versus traditional stock rolls. The first thing that we need to put in is our corn price. I looked at my local elevator this morning and I can still get $6.50 for new crop corn. Next thing we need to put in is our price per row for 360 chain roll. The total with the rolls and the weed knives is $1,200 per row. We can put in the number of rows, we'll leave that at 8, and then the yield increase with chain roll. What we've been seeing through a lot of different trials and a lot of different tests is 2 bushels per acre. And then we have acres per year. Let's put that at 1,000 acres. Then we click on calculate. So you can see with that 1,000 acres at 2 bushel increase, we're going to get 2,000 extra bushels of corn. Added revenue, 2,000 times that $6.50 per bushel comes to $13,000. The cost to upgrade, so that's that $1,200 per row times 8 row is $9,600. Net income on the first year would be $3,400 or 35% ROI. Acres to break even, 738 acres. So about 3/4 of the way through the year, the chain rolls are going to be paid for. So that's year one. And then remember, after that, you're not going to have that cost to upgrade. So all of that is going to be added revenue for the next few years. For example number 2, let's assume that the grower's existing stock rolls are wore out. So he's in the market for upgrading to some new stock rolls. He's trying to decide between chain roll or going with his OEM rolls. If we look at OEM rolls versus chain roll, it's probably going to cost $200 per row more to go with our chain rolls. So let's change this price per row to $200. He was already going to spend the money, but now he needs to spend a little bit more to go with chain roll. So we keep everything else the same, go to calculate. The added revenue is going to be the same, but now the cost to upgrade is going to be quite a bit less. You can see the net income, the year 1 ROI, and the acres to break even. So it does not take very many acres to pay for the added revenue of going with chain roll compared to his existing stock rolls. So you might ask, how are we seeing extra bushels or seeing an advantage going with chain roll comparing to OEM stock rolls? So the big advantage is I already talked about at the beginning is if you got these small little pieces getting in the way, they're going to stop a plant from coming up. For every plant that does not grow, that's 7 bushels right there. So you can see it doesn't take very long to be losing bushels from little pieces of stalk getting in the way of the plants growing. Another way that we're seeing increased bushels is by having these pieces that are crimped every 1.5 inches. It allows microbes to get in and break that stalk down so much quicker than your longer OEM stalks. So your nutrients are going to be getting back into the ground that much quicker. What we've seen is twice as fast as what it would be with your standard OEM stalks. So this is our ROI calculator for chain roll. You can find this at 360yieldcenter.com. You can also see yield results on our website as well, or you can go right to 360roicalculators.com to go in there, put in your own numbers, and see how 360 chain roll will work for you on your farm.